So I used to be someone who gave way too many fucks, and that is why it took me so long to get to where I want to be. And it wasn't until I learned how to not give a fuck, and that was when I started to work harder. I made my first $1 million, and that's when I started to live life on my own terms. You see, one of the main reasons why you're not making millions is because you care too much about what other people think. So in this video, I am going to help you reprogram your mindset so you can be on your way to not giving a fuck and start making millions of dollars right now. First of all, everyone will judge you no matter what. It doesn't matter if you are a multimillionaire. It doesn't matter how successful you are. It doesn't matter if you are broke. And it doesn't matter how many times you've failed. People will place judgments on you no matter what. That is just human nature. And I think a lot of people have a hard time accepting this. And that is why they are not making millions of dollars. You see, when you want to build a successful business, when you want to become wealthy, and if you want to make a lot of money, you need to put yourself out there. I don't know a single person who hides at home and then they expect to become a millionaire by doing absolutely nothing. They need to go out there and do things that scare them, which means you need to be putting yourself out there in uncomfortable situations that will get you to the next level. However, many of us, we fear judgment, especially from strangers. Like, isn't that crazy? When you think about it, it's like, of course, your family and friends may not have that much judgment towards you because they know you. But when it comes to strangers, we tend to think, oh my gosh, like, what would they think of me? Would they laugh at me? Would they think I'm stupid? Do I look funny? Should I go on camera? I don't want to be in front of the camera. There's so many times where people have told me that they don't want to put themselves out there and they don't want to be in front of a camera or do any type of public speaking because they are afraid of judgment. But the truth is, nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit about how you look like. Like, yes, they may place judgment on you for like that split second, but then they move on with their life. Like, how many times have you gone to the grocery store and you may have judged someone, right? Like, for example, maybe you saw a busy mom with a toddler and the toddler was screaming on the top of their lungs and you may have made some sort of judgment. Maybe you thought, oh my gosh, she's having a hard time. Or you may have thought, oh my gosh, I'm never having kids. Like, that's wild. We make judgments on other people, but that thought only lasts a few seconds and then you move on with your life. So if you want to make millions, you need to stop worrying about how other people judge you, especially strangers, because nobody cares. Next, you need to realize that you cannot please everyone. So if you are a people pleaser, you need to stop people pleasing because you can't make everyone happy. So for example, when I was getting into entrepreneurship, before that, I had a typical 9-to-5 office job. And this was something that my parents wanted me to do forever. They believed in traditional jobs where you check in, check out, you make like a bare minimum salary, you retire by 65, and that's it, right? That is how most of us were taught growing up. That is how you should live life. But the longer I stayed doing that, I noticed that I was people pleasing. I was pleasing my parents and I was pleasing people in my life. I thought, okay, maybe if I just stayed in this bubble and I just worked my job and I did the same shit every year, I won't be judged and I would be pleasing other people. So therefore, that would make me feel comfortable. However, I was dying inside. Like, I thought, is this how I should be living life? Is this all there is to life? Am I going to just live paycheck to paycheck forever and ever and never to have enough money to buy a multi-million-dollar home or all these things that I truly wanted in life? I was people pleasing. And it wasn't until I learned how to not give a shit about people pleasing, that was when I truly started to succeed. That was when I was able to put myself in uncomfortable situations, regardless of what other people thought. And that is how I made money super fast. I stopped caring about what other people wanted out of me. It didn't matter. And did I disappoint people during the process? Of course. Like, I disappointed my parents. I lost some of my friends, but at the end of the day, when I started to succeed, that was when they saw me in a different way. My parents started to realize that maybe I did have something going on And this entrepreneurship journey, this new business that I'm starting is meant for me because I was happier, I was succeeding, I was buying all these things that I dreamed of. Eventually, it got easier when I stopped people pleasing. I started to live life on my own terms, and that feeling is so good. So if you want to be on your journey to make millions, then stop pleasing other people and start living for yourself. Next, you are going to fail at least one time and you need to accept it. A lot of us, when we get into business, we don't want to fail, right? We are so afraid of failing. We have been conditioned in childhood that if we fail, it means that you are weak. It means that you are dumb. Maybe you are stupid, and it's embarrassing to society. But if you want to make millions, you are going to fail. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. I know a lot of people online will tell you that, oh yeah, you're going to succeed your first time around. It's going to be so easy. It's going to be sunshine and rainbows. And that is simply just not the truth. Because every millionaire that I know, they have failed so many times. And the secret to success was to keep on moving forward. They didn't give a shit about what other people thought. They didn't give a shit about how many times they failed, because the end goal was still there. The end goal was to make millions of dollars and to retire early. That was the end goal. That is my end goal. I've achieved that goal. And I would have not been able to have achieved that if I didn't fail at least one time. Many of you guys don't see it, but I've failed more than 10 times, more than both hands can count. But I don't talk about that much online because I don't want to sound negative. I don't want to apply pressure to new entrepreneurs. And my mindset around that is that there's no such thing as failing. I look at failing as a stepping stone to success, because without failing, I will never learn any lessons. Like, how am I supposed to learn anything in business if I never failed? It just doesn't make any sense. So the more times I fail, the more I learn, and the more ballsy I get the next time around to take more risk. And with risk comes reward. So you need to be okay with failing at least one time. Every millionaire that I know is comfortable with failing. Next, you need to embrace looking cringe. If I look back on the very first YouTube video that I filmed, and you can see this on my YouTube channel, if you just go onto my YouTube channel and click on oldest video, you will see the very first video that I filmed, and I thought I looked super cringe. But I had one goal in mind, and my goal was to make millions. I didn't care what other people thought. There were comments about my appearance. I had haters leaving nasty comments, but I didn't care, because I knew that the more I focused on myself and the more cringy I looked and the more cringy things that I did, I know eventually I will take more risk. And I knew that with more risk that I was taking and the more cringy content that I put out, the more lives I was going to change and the more clients I was going to gain. You see, if I didn't look cringe and I didn't embrace being cringe, nobody would have paid me a single dollar. And to this day, I've generated over $15 million online. You can only imagine how many lives I've helped change. And that was all thanks to me being cringe. I think when we look at ourselves in the camera and in the mirror, we criticize ourselves, and the only cringy part comes from our own thoughts. But to the average person, to strangers, and to your audience online, if you are creating any type of content or if you are starting any type of business, you may feel cringe. You may feel like, oh, I don't want to do this, or oh God, I look funny, I feel stupid. But people who are supportive of you do not see that as cringe. I don't know any successful person who was truly successful who came up to me and said, oh, you look cringe. In fact, successful people come up to me and they tell me, I love your content. Your content has changed my life. Your advice is unreal. Thank you so much. Those are the comments I get, and those are the people who truly matter. Which brings me to the next topic, and that is you cannot control the outcome. Nobody can tell you the future. I get questions all the time where people ask me, am I going to succeed? Does your course work? Am I going to make money? And the honest answer is that I don't fucking know, because I can't tell the future. But what I do know is that if you believed in yourself and you take everything that I'm saying in this video into consideration and you change the way you think about truly not giving a shit, you will get somewhere. I don't know anyone who made these small changes and got nowhere. It's not about the course. It's not about the mentorship. It's not about the business model. This starts with you. I can give you all of the training and everything that you need to succeed. But the truth is, I can't tell the future. So you need to learn how to let go of the outcome and instead focus what is in front of you. You need to think about succeeding in baby steps. What is it that you can do right now, today, to make a change? What do you need to do tomorrow so you are on the path to success and making millions? Only you have the power to control what is happening right now in the present day that can give you that future outcome. So you need to let go of control when it comes to thinking, am I going to succeed? Is this a guarantee that I will become a millionaire? Nobody can give you that answer, and it is 100% completely up to you. Next, you need to get clear on what matters. Do you care about what people think, or do you care about money? Because for me, I care about money. I don't care about how people view me as. Some people may think I'm too aggressive, or that I am a boss babe, or that I need to chill out and not take life so seriously. But who fucking cares? Like, I don't care about other people's opinions, because at the end of the day, all I care about is making money so I can provide for my family, so I can have a better future, so I can retire early, so I can gain financial freedom. That's what I care about. I don't care about anything else. And the sooner you realize this and you get clear on what truly matters, it will be so much easier for you to go out there to achieve what you want. It will be so much easier for you to wake up in the morning and think to yourself, I'm going to become a millionaire. I'm going to go out there and make my millions. I don't care. Nothing's holding me back. I don't care about other people's opinions. That is what you need to get clear on. Next, stop taking advice from poor people. I don't care if these people are your family or your friends or your teacher or a mentor you look up to, but if you are taking advice from someone who is not where you want to be, you need to stop that, because that is probably the most dangerous thing when it comes to helping you achieve millions of dollars. Like, for example, this is going to sound so bad, but I don't care because I want to help you succeed. I will never take advice from my parents. I just wouldn't do it. Even though I love them dearly, I wouldn't take advice from them because they never had the lifestyle that I truly wanted. My dad worked 2 jobs back to back when I was growing up. My mom was stressing over taking care of the home, taking care of me, and that's not something that I want to repeat. I respect what they have done to raise me, but do I want to be put in that same situation? Hell no. I want to get rich. I want to build wealth. I want to have financial freedom. So I will never take advice from anyone who do not have what I want. You see, this is the issue. A lot of newbies don't have anyone to look up to. They don't have a proper mentor. They don't have proper training. They don't have proper guidance to help them to get to where they want to be. So the closest people that they seek out to is their parents or their friends who are poor. They are asking for advice from people who are not where they want to be. And they feel some sort of comfort when they go to family members, friends, or teachers, or anyone that they know. But that is probably the wrong way to get advice. I would never go to my high school teacher and ask them, hey, how do I get rich? Because they're not rich. So why would I go to someone that is closest to me who doesn't have the lifestyle and everything that I want? I just wouldn't do that. And you shouldn't do that either. And lastly, you need to learn how to accept constructive criticism. Let me give you an example of someone that I was trying to help, and then they completely fell off because they did not accept my constructive criticism. So this individual wanted to succeed in their online business. They asked me for my advice and for my feedback, so I gave it to them. I gave it to them straight and I didn't hold back. Because I'm not going to sugarcoat something when I see that something is wrong. I want you to succeed, so I will always tell you the truth. So when I told this individual the truth and I pointed out everything that they were doing wrong, they were like, oh, okay, I quit. And I was like, what? Like, you quit just because I gave you the truth? That is how you're never going to succeed. You need to learn how to accept this type of criticism because that is the only way how you are going to grow. If you are someone that feels like shit whenever someone is trying to give you positive feedback, you are never going to make it. You need to learn how to not care about that so you can achieve your millions. If you start taking criticism to heart and you become emotionally affected by other people's positive feedback for you, then you are never going to make it. If this video has helped you in any way, then please do me a favor, subscribe to my channel, and help me give this video a huge thumbs up. Also, I recently just launched my own AI agency, and I am helping people like you make money online with AI. My goal is to make another $1 million online by selling AI services to local businesses. If this is something that you want to learn, then you can get my free course in the YouTube description below. Just click on the link to get access. I will see you in my next video.